things have been going, it's hard to not imagining that happening to us, maybe even in the very near future. Um, it is really unfortunate that it is happening because the fine arts, I think, is an excellent way for kids to expand their learning in some very real and applicable situations.
Everything needs to be looked at fairly and equally, and that fine arts classes shouldn't just be, dug into first.
In band, you're learning how to multitask. You're learning how to do more than one thing at one time. You're learning how to be organized. You're learning how to commit to something and see it through. You're learning how to work hard. You're learning how to dedicate yourself to a process.
Yeah, you're not going to be a world-class trumpet player, but the things that you did in order to become, the best trumpet player that you could become, you could transfer those skills to other aspects as well.
Both of them present their own styles of problem solving, and I think that's what's really important here. In the sciences, we have critical thinking. Students have to learn a way of thinking, a vocabulary that comes with things like chemistry or physics. The theater's kind of the same. It has its own vocabulary, but they present very different challenges. It's very academic in the classroom with chemistry and the like, yet in the theater, for example, it's very problem-based. We are coming together. There's a big sense of cooperation to put together this production. And sometimes I feel like my students learn more real-life skills in the theater and coming together to solve problems.
Like I said, in my theater classes, it's project-based learning type stuff where they get to be hands-on. They get to do things they don't do in a typical classroom, and they get to lead the way.
So a lot of my classes that I teach provide hands-on learning. So that's just a learning technique that allows students to, get their hands on projects and learn by, solving problems and that sort of thing.
I think that science and engineering and technology and mathematics, those are the fields that really teach you to think.
I think that they are, in a lot of ways, equals. They're an area where students from diverse backgrounds can find their strengths. Some students are very strong in the arts, some students are very strong in science, and some people are, very fortunate to be strong in both. And having access to that is important. Being able to have the opportunity to show their skills in both those areas, to practice those skills.
And in music, there's some place for everyone, whether it be in a performing, in a band or an orchestra or a choir, and even within those groups, there's some place for everyone. And I think that's important.
Well, I think students should seek out both. That they should have some experience in STEM classes and some experience in fine arts and find what works for them. And find that if you're strong in one, maybe there is actually an overlap that can enhance the other. I find that the time that my students are the most active in solving a problem and coming together and using cooperation and creative and critical thinking is often in that theater.
That it's about more than just music. It's our band class is about more than just getting together and playing our instruments. It's about developing team goals and understanding how music works when it's constructed, you know, what happens here, and then being able to listen to it on the radio or listen to a concert and be able to understand how it works, I think is really important too.
Well, one thing that's very important that students should know about STEM classes, there is a high demand for careers in the STEM field. So the opportunity to take STEM classes will help you in the future get a job, hopefully.
Get involved. Getting involved not only makes you a better student, but it is, I'm pretty sure it's a proven statistic that the more involved you are, the better your GPA is.
Absolutely, yeah. I think students can definitely benefit from taking STEM classes, and you know, the more access students have available to take STEM classes, it would benefit them. So yes.
Of course, but as soon as you say more emphasis and more funding, that means the money's coming from somewhere, so somewhere else is getting cut.
Yeah.
And as an educator, that's a hard decision. What would be nice is if we had the funding we needed to do everything we wanted to do, but in reality, we know that's not going to happen. So it makes for a hard decision. What do we have to fund and what do we have to cut? I don't know that there's a right or a wrong answer. However, being a fine arts educator and being someone who enjoys watching students excel.
I think we need to continue to do what we do. We need to reach out to the kids. We need to get the kids when they're young and get them involved in it and keep them involved throughout. We need to grow music appreciators. So I think we need to keep it positive and continue to grow lifelong musicians.
I like to think that they promote themselves. It's hard to not look at our world and see the value of something like a science class in STEM courses. Fine arts are the same way, though. I do think that they, in some ways, promote themselves. Oftentimes, it's our fine arts programs that, you know, provide a public face for our school. They bring people in to see what it is that we do here. It's hard to bring people in to see what happens in the classroom.
I'm not sure because we don't need to promote them here. We have, all of our fine arts classes are typically full, so we don't struggle with attendance, we struggle with funding. It's not that we wouldn't always like more students. What we would like is the ability to have more classes. So I guess in order to do that, we need to convince the states and the other government officials that are cutting our classes that we need more. How do we do that? I think we got to show them and what it does for students somehow.
I think it introduces me to a wide variety of people, and it also helps me manage my time because I'm involved in so many things.
Also being interested in the STEM field, I appreciate that our school offers classes that I can take, that I can further my education in that region.
I like it. I like to sing and perform, and I don't think I'd be in it if I didn't like what I was doing.
They're so fun, and there's diversity within the STEM programs too. So if you don't want to do bio, but instead you want to do computer science or physics, and you can.
It's definitely opened like my mindset as to the possibilities of things I can do. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I think because I'm in the fine arts, my possibilities broaden.
For myself, I'm thinking of becoming, at this current time, a computer engineer. So it's pretty important for me to start focusing on some STEM classes.
My career choice right now is biomedical engineering and prosthetics, which is basically you combining fine arts and STEM programs into one thing.
having more authentic opportunities for students in STEM classes, I think, is incredibly important. And some of the current conversations in our own district seem to support that, and that's something that even we are moving towards.